everyone, and welcome to Marketwatch PM. I'm Richard Saxton, along with Gary Salem.
The Dow, other key markets marking time right now, but the transport's up about 7 points, and the S&P futures in new all-time high territory.
Time now to take a look at the latest business news. German bankers say they're even more worried now about the Soviet Union's ability to service its debt following the release of new budget figures. Moscow says its first quarter budget deficit has already soared past levels planned for the full year. And high-ranking Soviet officials warn it may be impossible in the second quarter to finance investment and fund the army and other state programs. As a result, an official at a German bank who didn't want to be identified called the situation in the Soviet Union very serious. He says in terms of foreign debt risks, the Soviet Union is currently the worst case, and there won't be any improvement in that situation this year.
Some oil industry experts are now forecasting a nationwide gasoline price war this summer as major oil firms move to lure millions of vacationers back to the pumps. Several oil companies have already announced plans to resume advertisements that were suspended during the Gulf War. But some experts believe the battles may be limited to key markets such as California, Texas, and Florida, where competition is said to be pretty fierce. Chevron fired the first shot in the price war when it eliminated the premium it formerly charged credit card customers. Exxon responded to Chevron's move by slashing cash and credit prices. Industry officials say the price war should be good news for motorists, but may spell trouble for smaller independent dealers. Meantime, the latest weekly report from the American Petroleum Institute shows an unexpectedly large buildup of over 6 million barrels in crude stocks. Oil analyst Jim Steele also notes that gasoline reserves are down a surprising 1/2 million barrels.
And the market was expecting a drawdown in gasoline of 1 to 1.5 million, so it will be a little surprise there. Another interesting factor is that although gasoline is only down 500,000, despite the fact that refinery runs have been cut again, and they're well below 82% right now.
Currently, May crude futures down 7 cents at $19.63 a barrel.
Shearson Lehman analyst David Reederman reiterated his buy rating on software giant Microsoft on expectations for high-performance software linked to a workstation consortium to be unveiled next week. Microsoft and Silicon Graphics late Tuesday announced that Microsoft agreed to license Silicon Graphics high-end computer graphics. Microsoft stock is currently trading up 2 1/4 at 114 1/4. Silicon Graphics is down 3 3/4 at 38 3/4. But Silicon Graphics' story is more than their deal with Microsoft. They are also forecasting lower earnings for the upcoming quarter.
When we return following a short pause, we'll take a look at market activity, as slow as it may be for most stocks and stock indices today. And we'll hear from FNN insider Bob Metz.
Back shortly. Stay tuned.
Your attention, please. The 631 will be delayed.
Get some coffee?
No. This gives me a chance to call my broker.
Now?
Sure.
My broker's never in this early.
You have to keep to his schedule?
Trading decisions happen round the clock. That's why so many active investors choose Fidelity Brokerage Services. Fidelity has experienced brokers available 24 hours a day to place your trades. Plus, you'll save as much as 76% on stock and option commissions. Call this number now for your free Fidelity Brokerage Fact Kit.
That's right. 500 shares at the market price at the open. Great. A couple more things I want to cover.
And find out about Fidelity's fast on-time performance nationwide with significant savings. For your free Fact Kit, call Fidelity Brokerage Services at 1-800-624-6700, a Fidelity Investments company.
Call now and you can have 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and this valuable 120-page guide to understanding money and markets. That's 13 weeks of the journal for the news and ideas you need every business day. And this guide free, which tells you everything you want to know about money and markets, all for only $37, a 24% savings off the newsstand price. Call now, toll-free, 800-638-4300. That's 800-638-4300 for today's Wall Street Journal.
Pick up line 2. I need that file now.
Line 4.
Find the blueprint.
Where's the architect?
Sell!
Buy! Short the market!
The power to put it all behind you. To kiss all the stress, all the stomach-churning headaches of business goodbye. That's the power of United. That's the power of the friendly skies.
every business day. Count on FNN's own chief market analyst to make sense of the latest financial news.
This is the time to start thinking about buying musicians. The time to think about selling them is long gone.
For insight on the ups and downs of Wall Street, count on John Bollinger, chief market analyst, weekdays at 3:45 p.m. Eastern, only on Financial News Network.
Portions of the following program are brought to you by Gold MasterCard, the best gold card to master the moment.
Volume pretty heavy for this time of day, but action is limited, at least in terms of the response for the Dow, down about 5 points.
And the broader market measures continue to outperform the blue chip indicator. Standard & Poor's 500, as well as the New York Composite and OTC indices yesterday hitting record highs, and they are in record high territory again today. The Dow down 5.5 points. It looks like oil and oil-related stocks are being hit today. We have Exxon down $1, Chevron down 3/4, two of the oil components in the Dow 30. Kodak is down 7/8 of a point. United Technologies up 3/4. Transportation average up about 6. Delta Airlines up 2.5. UAL and AMR both up 3/4. Utility average down 1/4. The Fancy up nearly 5. In that group, Delta, of course, Dow Chemical up 1 1/4, Digital Equipment up $1, helping out the Fancy, while Schlumberger is down 7/8. S&P 500 cash is up 0.91. The rally continues. June futures up 2/3 of a point, and the premium at 224, just below Art Cashin's 250 fair value. The NYSE index up 2/3 of a point. There's the volume Gary was talking about. 147.8 million shares. Had about 189 million yesterday, but most of that came in the late going on the rally that created that 63-point jump in the Dow. Breadth in the market, 9 to 5, advances over declines. The up volume about double the down volume, 86 million compared to 43 million. Treasury bills and bonds both lower. The dollar slightly higher in the CRB index, which has rallied of late, going sideways today, Gary.
Now let's catch you up with the broader market indices, up over 2 points for the Amex index on more than 12 million shares. Pardon me. National Market Systems Composite Index rising nearly 2 on 117.3 million shares. That, we can safely say, is more like it. May crude down just slightly on the session, off its bottom of the day. This is based on some negative American Petroleum Institute data that we mentioned to you at the headline section of this program. Oil index is down nearly 1.5 points, up 230 on the day for April gold, and some short covering for all of the metals, earlier led by silver, but silver is still trying to test support at $4. Gold index is up over a point now at 87.80. Up next, FNN Insider Robert Metz joining us from our studios in New York. Good afternoon, Bob.
Warren Buffett is unlike most investors. Most try to hide their setbacks. Chairman Buffett lays it on the line in Berkshire Hathaway's annual report. Buffett put $350 million in U.S. Air Group convertible preferred shares. That investment is now worth substantially less, as he admits. He adds in some irony that his timing was exquisite, doing the deal at the exact moment when the business experienced severe problems. No one pushed me, he adds. Problems in the industry were compounded by post-merger difficulties when U.S. Air began integrating Piedmont. But that problem is solved. The combined airline gets excellent marks for service. It is the industry-wide problems that have proved to be far more serious. Buffett says the problems have been magnified by price cutting. This illustrates an important truth, says Buffett. If you sell a commodity kind of product, it's impossible to be a whole lot smarter than your dumbest competitor. So what is the future for U.S. Air Group? Well, Buffett says the investment should work out unless the industry is decimated during the next few years. But he adds, quote, even so, our investment is now less secure than at the time I made it. I'm Robert Metz with Street News.
And we'll be back with Street Talk. A.J. Jack Frost to join us and give us his Elliott Wave interpretation.
And later this half hour, computers in the market with John Bollinger.
In the challenging world of investments, the independent player needs a competitive edge. That edge is AccuTrade, an exciting innovation that lets you buy or sell stocks for just 3 cents a share commission. AccuTrade from First National Brokerage Services lets the independent investor make trades with a touch-tone phone while paying only 3 cents a share commission. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're linked to AccuTrade Computer Central. Simply key in your trades at just 3 cents a share commission.
Call this 800 number to find out how to tap into AccuTrade. It's simple, fast, accurate, and at only 3 cents a share commission, you put more money into your investments.
This is the number to call, 1-800-982-0800. Find out how AccuTrade can give you that competitive edge and significantly add to your successful investing. AccuTrade, a revolutionary breakthrough from First National Brokerage Services.
The Turbo Wagon by Volvo. Think of it as a sports car with extra pickup. The 940 Wagon by Volvo. Think of it as a limousine for your luggage.
Call now and you can have 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and this valuable 120-page guide to understanding money and markets. That's 13 weeks of the journal for the news and ideas you need every business day. And this guide free, which tells you everything you want to know about money and markets, all for only $37, a 24% savings off the newsstand price. Call now, toll-free, 800-638-4300. That's 800-638-4300 for today's Wall Street Journal.
Bond futures down slightly. The Johnson-Smith Medley report apparently saying the Fed won't ease on Friday no matter what the employment numbers bring us. We'll look now at some of the stocks making the news. General Motors EDS component is up $1 at 46, as that is Merrill Lynch's focus stock of the week. General Motors Class E, or EDS. Microsoft up 2 at 114.25. You heard the story in our headlines. Shearson and also Bear Stearns reiterating buy recommendations as Microsoft will benefit from a licensing deal for some silicon graphics. Texas Instruments is up 2 at 42.25 today. They've announced a joint development of some high technology solar energy deal with Southern Cal Edison, or SCE Corp. So they'll try and turn sun power into energy on a very sophisticated level. Monsanto up 5/8 at 58.5. The analyst Dean Witter Reynolds raising estimates on that stock. Joining us now, as he does each week at this time, is A.J. Jack Frost of Victoria, British Columbia, co-author of the 1978 book, The Elliott Wave Principle, which he wrote with Robert Prechter. And many follow the Elliott Wave Principle because of the book that Jack wrote and popularized the theory. However, you've been bearish for some time, even during this more than 600-point rally to near record levels, at least for the Dow, Jack. What do you see from here?
Well, it's true I've been bearish, but what happened, I didn't really expect it to happen, is that the Fed has been pumping more and more and more money into the economy, hoping to stimulate the economy, but it's actually simply stimulated the stock market. So the stock market has been in a speculative blow-off, and I think we're in the top area. And all we can expect now is a nosedive down. The U.S. dollar has also been rising, but the U.S. dollar is weakening the U.S. competitive position because what happens, it makes the United States a good country to sell to and a very poor country to buy from. So we're in a very, very desperate situation. And I don't think this situation is going to last very long, and I still hold to my position that we can expect about a 1,000-point drop.
Well, just as we speak about the crumbling financial situation, Trump Plaza Funding says it may be forced to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And, of course, you and I know that Donald Trump was once looked up to as one of the great financiers. But how quickly things change, huh?
It's remarkable.
What do you see for gold?
Gold has been a little disappointing. But gold has completed a pattern, and my feeling is that come May, June, July, August, gold is going to take a very substantial move up. And I think the outlook for gold is very positive and will remain positive for years to come.
You're in your 83rd year here. Do you recommend, or 84th year, I guess, you're 83 years old. Do you recommend people short here or buy puts? How would you play this expected down move that you're looking towards just on your past investment experience and philosophy?
Well, I would buy gold bullion, gold stocks, and I would also buy good quality bonds, but I would avoid the stock market except for gold.
Okay, Jack, as always, thanks for joining us. We look forward to another conversation next week. A.J. Jack Frost of the Elliott Wave Principle. Time now to take a look at some of the active issues at the New York Stock Exchange. RJR Nabisco up 0.5. Citicorp up 0.75, as is Chase Manhattan up 0.75. Kidder Peabody recommended Chemical Bank today. There might be some spillover as bank stocks regain some popularity here. Philip Morris down a quarter. American Express unchanged at 29 3/8. That has been a good performing Dow 30 component. There's Silicon Graphics down 3 3/4, seeing their third quarter well below the second quarter 49-cent report. And Compaq Computer to take a 13% stake. And as we mentioned, they'll be licensing some graphics to Microsoft. IBM is up 1/8. Beverly Enterprises up 5/8. Digital up 7/8 of a point. GE up 1/8. We know the news there. Their CNBC subsidiary will be buying FNN. Amdahl is up 3/8 of a point. Hillhaven unchanged. Energy Service up 1/8. Echo Bay Mines up a quarter. Diasonics down 5/8. OTC actives. Oracle Systems up a half. Seagate Technology up 50 cents as well. Legion Corporation down 3 3/4. Their second quarter earnings to be reduced by about 10 cents from the 45 to 50 cent estimates that were on the street. Sun Micro down a quarter. Amatron is up 3/8 at 2 3/4.
Up next, John Bollinger, alias Computer Man.
I'm Bill O'Neill, founder of Investors Daily. For the last 30 years, I've helped individuals, businesses, and large corporations make smart investment decisions. Now I'm willing to make an investment in you. I'm so convinced that if you read Investors Daily, you'll want to subscribe. I'll send you 2 weeks of the paper for free. Why am I so sure? Because Investors Daily has features you won't find in the Wall Street Journal or Barron's. Stock tables that show you each company's earnings growth, relative price performance, industry strength, and percentage change in volume. 90 graphic displays of the strongest companies. Mutual fund listings that show every fund's performance record. This information can save you time and money, and you won't find it anywhere else. So take advantage of my offer and call Investors Daily now for your free 2-week subscription.
If you call now, Investors Daily will send you a free 2-week subscription. You'll also receive a free audio tape, a guide to Investors Daily. Call now, 1-800-767-1300. That's 1-800-767-1300.
Dan Larson knows a secluded course where the holes are challenging, but the fees aren't. Now, where do you suppose he'd rent a car? Budget, where every rental passes 25 quality checks and price is not a handicap. The smart money is on budget. Now you can rent a Lincoln for $199 a week with unlimited mileage. The smart money is on budget.
Iowa, the smart state for business. Make a smart move to Iowa.
Are you looking for an online quote service that's both powerful and easy to learn and use? Then you're looking for FNN Marketwatch. With just the touch of a button, you can get current quotes instantly, review your portfolios, and track the major exchange tickers. In very little time and for a lot less money, FNN Marketwatch can give you a lot more of both. So call 1-800-367-4670 now to order FNN Marketwatch. That's 1-800-367-4670.
I suppose I should tell you that we're going to have to pin up on our bulletin board a little notice that this very well could turn out to be the last computers in the market segment. So we're going to turn to John Bollinger right now and perhaps appropriately so discuss computer bulletin boards.
Well, you know, last week we talked about a command processor replacement and a way of enhancing DOS. And that program, it was shareware. It's the kind of thing that you can download on your computer from another computer and try it out for a while, see if you like it. Well, one of the places that you can do that from is the Market Technicians Association's bulletin board system, which is called the Stock Exchange Bulletin Board System. Now, we have a slide here with the phone number of this bulletin board. Now, mind you, this is a computer phone number, not a voice number. If you call up, this thing's going to shriek in your ear. So if you have a computer with a modem in it, it has to be at least as fast as 1200 baud, and you can call up with a communications program, log on, give your name and address and such like that, and they will allow you to participate in this bulletin board. You can exchange programs with other people. You can meet other like-minded investors, people who are interested in using computers in the market. And frankly, in a world where there's going to be no more computers in the market, the bulletin board system is a fantastic place to find out what the latest is in terms of programs that are available, who has what data available. There's a data conference available on this bulletin board where people trade data back and forth. Somebody has, the tea leaves from 1911 through 1982, and you have certain other kind of tea leaves for that period. You can meet and exchange them electronically. Lots of demonstration programs show you what the software is out there. I should say it's run by a very nice fellow by the name of Kurt Kyle, based in out in Des Moines, Iowa.
Is it the only billboard of its type? Or
No, there are many more of them, and one of the things that you can get when you're on the bulletin board is a list of many of them. In fact, some of them are interlinked via a network. They pass messages back and forth at night. So if you put up a message on this system, it in fact will be spread out to many other systems around the country. If somebody on another system replies, then a day later that message will come back to this system, so you not only end up talking to the subset of people who deal with the just this bulletin board, but with a much bigger universe of people who deal with other financial bulletin boards around the country. So there's it's quite a large integrated system, actually.
John, it's been fun doing Computers in the Market. We'll miss you on this particular segment, but we know, and I should remind you viewers, that John, of course, will be back at his regular time on Market Wrap later on today. That's after 4 p.m. Eastern Time with Bill Griffith. When I come back following a short pause and a word from Richard, I'll bring you up to date on futures activity.
Thanks, Gary. I know John's a surfer, so he might appreciate the new wave in car technology on our Business Week editors.
Gasoline prices have settled back nicely. Americans will soon be tootling off to their summer vacations again. But in a Business Week cover story, Thane Peterson tells us the road will never be the same again, or more accurately, Thane, the car.
No, I think the car is going to change dramatically in the next dozen years or so. I think we're going to see a lot of electric start to be used by commuters, and natural gas used in inner cities to cut down on air pollution.
Thane, there's been talk of the electric car and the natural gas car for decades, you might say. It really hasn't happened. Is this just another empty threat?
We think, our judgment is that it will happen this time, at least slowly, between now and the year 2005. Of course, General Motors said in the mid-'70s that it would be producing 10% electric cars by now, and it isn't producing any. So.
Well, something is forcing their hand this time, namely the Clean Air Act, for one.
Yeah, the Clean Air Act, and particularly legislation in the state of California, where a big chunk of the car market is, that says they're going to have to produce electric cars starting in 1998, all the car makers.
Of course, Detroit is not terribly enthusiastic about this. They were not the first time around, but kicking and screaming, they were dragged into the age of better mileage for gasoline, even though they didn't look for it.
Yeah. Surprisingly, the car makers aren't putting up that big a squawk about the alternative fuels. They're still squawking about having to raise the mileage a lot, but for gasoline cars. But alternatives seem to be well on the way.
All right, you and I might not buy that electric car, not the first one we may, but who will be buying that?
I think the people who are going to be interested are people like commuters in Los Angeles who can use an electric like GM's Impact to go to work quite conveniently.
Just 10 or 20 miles. Okay, thanks, Thane Peterson, for joining us. I'm Paul Ehrlich in New York.
Right now, bond futures continue lower in advance of Friday's March unemployment and employment statistics. The hope, of course, is for the Fed to lower interest rates if the economic report turns out to be weaker than forecast. However, the Fed reportedly will not move to lower interest rates unless it sees a very weak report. As for the dollar, it's finally turning a bit higher, but generally described as sideways range trading activity today. Dealers await potential interest rate changes both in the U.S. potentially and possibly to the upside in Germany come this Thursday when the Bundesbank Council meets. The U.S. could ease rates in a weak set of employment figures, as we've suggested. Generally could raise rates Thursday. Germany could raise rates Thursday to stem rising inflation, and also perhaps in a move to strengthen the Deutschmark. Right now, the dollar is down 1/4 yen. The yen being prompted by some cross reversal, which is pushing down the Deutschmark. It's up, dollar is up 1/4 Pfennig, up 1/4 centime, and sterling is down a half penny at 177.15.
Investors. Let Value Line help you pinpoint stocks that could score big price gains.
We'll rush you as a bonus our new ranks of 1,700 stocks for price performance in the next 12 months. We expect the 100 top-ranked stocks to outperform all the rest, but avoid the 400 lowest. Value Line has ranked stocks this way for 25 years with these powerful results. And here's a second great bonus, Value Line's current full-page reports on 1,700 stocks, each with up to 15 years of statistics, fully indexed for you in this giant reference set. Your reference will be constantly updated with more than 100 new stock reports sent to you each week. To get this reference set and new performance ranks as instant bonuses, try Value Line for 10 weeks for only $65.
Call 800-472-7753. Call today and also receive Value Line's step-by-step practical guide to better investing. 800-472-7753. Call now.
About 2 hours of trading remain, and if things go today like they did yesterday, where we saw a rally in the late going, could be interesting. I would stick around if I were you and keep an eye on the markets. The Dow's now positive, very slightly, but good volume today.
Up next on Shop Talk, Leba Geft at the helm. Her guests on board, Albert Singlinger and Ed Hart.